Hi children, how are you all? Hope all are doing good and praying to be good and healthy. So, welcome to another session. In the previous session, we started the concept of tissues, a group of cells which are structurally and functionally same are called as tissues. And in previous session, we discussed about plant tissues, two types of tissues, that is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So we discussed their functions, different functions. So in this session we'll discuss animal tissues. So animals are complex organisms which are made by many number of cells, millions of cells. So they have many organ systems. So they have to function in a better manner. So in this session we are going to learn about different types of animal tissues and their functions. So how they are originated, how they used to function, structural organization in animals. Now let us see. A tissue is a group of animal similar cells having specific function and origin. They are the specific function and they have the specific function and the origin. We call it as a tissue. So the animal tissues are of four types, that are epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscular tissue, neural tissue. So the first type of tissue is epithelial tissue. So it has a free surface that face body fluid or outside environment, so which is protecting the external environment which is causing to body. Covers or lies body or body parts. It protect all the body parts. Cells are compactly packed with the little intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces means the gap between the two cells. So they have very little intercellular spaces. So these epithelial tissues are of two types, that are simple single layered, compound multi-layered. That means simple epithelial tissue means which is made by a single layer tissue. Compound epithelial tissue means which is made by a multi-layers. So coming to the simple epithelium, it is of three types, that is squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium. So these are composed by a single layer of cells and it lined by body cavity, ducts and tubes. So based on structural modification of cells, simple epithelium is three types, that are squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium and columnar epithelium. Coming to the simple epithelium, squamous epithelium. The first one is squamous epithelium. The layer of a flattened cells with irregular boundaries. So it is a flattened cells and irregular boundaries found in the walls of blood vessels and lung alveoli. Alveoli. In the picture you can see the alveoli. This is the alveoli. It is the structural functional unit of a respiratory system. So these simple squamous epithelium can be found in the walls of blood vessels and lungs alveoli. In the lungs alveoli. The functions of form a diffusion boundaries. What is a diffusion? Exchange of gases. See children. In the alveoli you can see the arrow marks. Into alveoli oxygen comes and it reaches, oxygen diffuses into the blood. And the carbon dioxide which is present in the blood is getting into alveoli and it due to the process of exhalation it comes out of the body. So main function of this squamous epithelium, it participates in the process of diffusion. Next, cuboidal epithelium. These are composed of cube-like cells found in ductus of glands and tubular parts of nephrons. So we can find in a tubular parts of a nephron. You can see the tubular parts, the tubes. These all are tubular parts of a nephron. The functions are secretion and absorption. They will absorb and they will separate or secrete. So, epithelium of proximal convoluted tubule, PCT of nephron, has microvilli. Microvilli means, micro means very small. Villi means infolded structure. You can see infolded structures, many present in a nephron. So, the PCT means the first convoluted tubule or a proximal convoluted tubule. It is a part of a nephron where does the tubular reabsorption will takes place. So, here tubular reabsorption means when the primary urine is formed, in the primary urine we will find glucose, amino acids, water and salts. So the glucose, amino acids and the water has to be absorbed into the blood. If it is eliminated out of the body, loss of nutrients takes place. So the person loses the energy. So this tubular reabsorption takes place at the site of proximal convoluted tubule in the nephron. Nephron is a functional unit of a kidney. So this is made by the cuboid cells, cuboidal epithelial cells. So mostly it activates in the secretion and absorption. In this picture you can see that is a microvilli. You can see the villi. The empty space of the blood vessel we call it as a lumen, which facilitate passage of urine or a blood filtrate. Okay. Next, ciliated epithelium. Modification of columnar or cuboidal cells, they will converted into ciliated epithelium. So the cells are cilia on their free surface. Cilia means a hair like a structures. In this picture you can see the word cilia, the hair follicles like structures. Okay, present in the inner surface of hollow origin like bronchioles and fallopian tubules. So the ciliated epithelium is present in bronchioles and fallopian tubules. Fallopian tubules you can see in the female reproductive system. Bronchioles are present at the human respiratory system. So you can see the cilia structure here, ciliated epithelium, the hair follicles like. So what is the main function? The function is to move particles or mucus in a specific direction over the epithelium. So they helps to move the particles or materials towards the proper direction or a specific direction. So that is the main function of ciliated epithelium. Next one is a glandular epithelium. Next one is a glandular epithelium. So unicellular consists of isolated glandular cells. Example, goblet cells of the alimentary canal. In our alimentary canal we find a special cells, they are called as goblet cells. And multicellular consists of clusters of the cells. Example, salivary glands. So unicellular means single cell. Okay, the glandular cells singly they will present. So in alimentary canal, in human digestive system we will find special cells which are called as goblet cells. And in multicellular, the salivary glands. Salivary glands are also glandular epithelium. They are multicellular components. So based on mode of producing of these secretion glands, they are the two types, exocrine glands and endocrine glands. So the exocrine glands release secretions through the ducts to the tubes. Exocrine glands secrete mucus, saliva, earwax. Earwax we call it as cernium. Earwax, oil, milk, digestive enzymes, etc. These all are exocrine glands secrete. Endocrine glands, they are the ductless glands, no ducts. They produce the hormones, thyroxine, adrenaline, pituitary gland, growth hormones. These are all endocrine gland secretions. Next one is a compound epithelium, composed of multi-layered cells. limit role in secretion and absorption. So they cover the dry surface of skin, moist surface of buccal cavity, pharynx, inner lining of ducts of salivary glands and pancreatic ducts. Functions are protection against the chemical and mechanical stress. So this compound epithelium, they protect us from the chemical and mechanical stress. They will protect us. Next, cell junctions. These are the junctions that provide structural and functional links between the adjacent cell. So in the picture you can see they connect the cell to cell. Okay, that we call it as a cell junctions. So these cell junctions are of three types: tight junctions, adhering junctions and gap junctions. So coming to the tight junctions, help to stop substances from leaking across the tissues. As they pack very tightly, they prevent the leakage. Okay. Next one, adhering junction. Performing cementing to keep neighboring cells together. Cementing means they helps to attach a cell to cell. Connecting, cementing. So when construction is done, what they will do, in between the brick to brick they will add a cement which makes the tighten of attach the bricks each other, make to tighten it. Yes. Next, gap junctions. They facilitate the cells communicate with each other by connecting cytoplasm of adjacent cells for rapid transfer ions, small molecules and bring molecules. So these gap junctions, they help to transport the nutrients from one cell to another cell. Next type of epithelial tissue is completed. Next type of epithelium, it is a connective tissue. So coming to the connective tissue, this type of tissue is the most abundant, widespread and varied of all tissues. Types in the body, it also has the widest variety of functions. So this connective tissue have a variety of different variety functions are there. They have wide varieties. So it is a widest type of a tissue. Connective tissue such as loose or areolaris tissue. So loose, we can call the areolar tissue as a loose tissue. It can function to be bind the structures together, hold organs in place or separate the structure. So for example, our skin is attaches to the muscle, no? In between the skin and the muscle, we can find areolaris tissue which connects the skin and the muscle. Connective tissue such as adipose tissue serves as a storage site for lipids. Lipids means fats and oils. Surrounds the protects internal organs and provide an insulator layer to aid in body temperature regulation. So the food which we eat in oil contained fats, the excessive fats, they used to store in adipose tissue. So it acts as an insulator. That means it maintains the constant body temperature. If the constant body temperature is not there, what does it result? It results as a fever, yes or no, high fever or a low fever, etc. So the body should maintain normal temperature. So these adipose tissue store the fat in the adipose tissue and it helps to acts as the insulator, maintain the constant body temperature. Other connective tissue such as blood helps to connect in a communication sense one part of the body to other. Blood is a fluid connective tissue. So it connects all the organs in the body. Transport the substances, fight with the infections or aid in a tissue repair. So it transport all the substances, what the food we eat, what the water we drink, what the air we respire, everything is transported by the blood. And it fight against the infection and it aid the tissue repair. When when we fall down, the skin comes out, removes, no? At those conditions, it helps to repair the body. For our purpose, the connective tissue, we examine all functions either to provide the support physically, connect or anchor. Connect or a support. Anchor means support one structure to another or serves as a framework. These tissues will be tendon and a ligament. The body, if you take a skeleton which is made by the bones, the skeleton, if doesn't have a muscle, if the skeleton is not attached with the muscle, it is a very useless, no, it cannot movable, it becomes as a lifeless. Even if you take only a muscle without a skeleton, it also seems as a lifeless. That means this skeleton and muscle with connected with each other. So the special tissues are tendon and ligament. So the tendon is a connection between the muscle and the bone. The tendon which connects the bone and the muscle. And the ligament is the connection between the bone and bone. If you see the finger, here you can see the bone. This is one bone and this is one bone. In between you will see the ligament. Tendon means here we have a muscle. In that we can find the bones, no? These bones are attached with the muscle. The connection between the muscle and bone, we call it as a tendon. These are also connective tissues. So another type of connective tissue is a cartilaginous tissue. So the cartilaginous tissues are of three types: hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, and a fibrous cartilage or a fibrous cartilage. Two types of bone tissues. They are compact bone or a cortical bones, and the next one is a cancellous or a spongy bone. So you can see here, this is a cancellous bone and a compact bone. No matter what the tissue, one characteristic common to all connective tissues is that it is composed mostly of an intercellular material called matrix. The intercellular material, the material which is present in between cell to cell, we call it as intercellular material. This material we can call it as a matrix. Tissue cells are contained in this intercellular matrix, but far apart relatively speaking. Examples of cells found in various connective tissues. You can see bone cells, we call them as a osteocytes. Tendon or a fibroblast cells. Collagenal cells or a chondrocyte cells. Cartilaginous cells or a next one is actually the composition of matrix gives each type of a connective tissue. It is individual characteristic. Matrix itself, it is actually composed of two different things. These are protein fibers and ground substances. The matrix is made by the two substances, that is protein fibers and ground substances. So ground substance is described as amorphous, that means it is a shapeless or the formless extracellular material which serves as a diffusion medium in the space around the cells and fibers, and it is plays a major role in determining the physical nature. It is a physical nature of the connective tissue. So the ground tissue, ground substance can range in a consistency from the liquid as in a blood, where the matrix is plasma and the ground substance is actually dilute salt water. Where the matrix can be collagen or elastic fibers in a ground substance called as a chondroitin sulfate. Chondroitin sulfate. In a bone, where the matrix is a collagen fibers in a minerals called a hydroxy epitite, which is a form of a calcium phosphorus. This hydroxy epitite is in the form of calcium phosphorus, Ca3PO42. So the fibers consist of a long protein in molecules. that are embedded in the ground substance. So they are produced by the tissue cells, which are themselves contained with the matrix. So there are two types of fibers contained in the connective tissue. They are collagen fibers and form the collagen or a trophocollagen molecules, and elastic fibers made from the elastin molecules. So collagen molecules from protein fibers which have a white color or the unaided eye, so we call them as white fibers. So they are the major structural proteins in human body, in tissues. In the collagen fibers come together to form the large bundles. Collagen fibers are only slightly flexible, so they have great tensile strength and are not very elastic. So the collagen molecules is a triple helix formed by 3 extended protein chains that wrap around one another. Many rod-like collagen molecules are cross-linked together in the extracellular spaces to form the collagen fiber. So that have the tensile strength of a steel. Tensile strength means flexible. So elastin molecules from protein fibers which have a yellowish or a ivory color to the unaided eye, so we call them as the yellow fibers. So in tissues, the elastin molecules often from large web-like structures. Elastic fibers are highly elastic and more flexible than collagen. However, they have much less tensile strength. So elastin polypeptide chains are cross-linked together to form the rubber-like. So elastic fibers, each elastin molecule uncoil into more extended conformation when the fiber is stretched and will recoil spontaneously as soon as the stretching force is relaxed. So the next type of tissue is a muscular tissue. What are the major functions of muscular tissue? You can see here. The major functions or characteristics associated with the muscular tissue is, first one is excitability. Tissues can receive and respond to the stimulation. Next, contractility. Tissues can shorten and thicken. Next one is extensibility. Tissues can lengthen. Elasticity. Tissues can return to its resting state, as usual state. Resting state means as usual state. The characteristics of a muscles. The characteristics of a muscle tissue enables to perform some important functions. What are the important functions? Movement, both voluntarily and involuntarily. Maintaining the posture, supporting soft tissue with body cavities. Next, guarding entrance and exit of the body and maintaining the body temperature. Next, what are the 3 types of muscle tissues? Skeletal muscle tissue. Skeletal muscles move or stabilize the position of skeleton, guard entrance and exits to the digestive, respiratory and urinary tracts, generate heat and protect internal organs. So this skeletal muscle tissue move or stabilize the position of the skeleton, and it guards the entrance and exit to the digestive system, respiratory system and urinary tract, and it generate the heat and protect the internal organs. That is the main function of skeletal muscle. Next, skeletal muscle tissue features and the characteristics. Fibers are multinucleate with a peripheral nuclei, act and myosin filaments from distinct cross station patterns. So muscle is surrounded by the connective tissue epimysium, and muscle fascicle surrounds by the connective tissue, that is a perimysium. Each muscle fiber surrounded by the connective tissue, that is endomysium, and voluntary muscles under conscious control. The voluntary muscles always they are under the conscious control. Sensitive stretch to receptor cells called as a neuromotor cells. The spindles are present with the nearly all skeletal muscles. So these spindles consist of connective tissue capsule in which are found modified muscle fibers. Numerous neuromuscular spindles monitor the change in the muscle length and activate the complex reflexes to regulate the muscle activity. Muscular tissue. Functions of skeletal muscle. Skeletal muscle function in pairs to bring about the coordination movement of the limbs, trunk, jaw, eyeballs, etc. The main function of skeleton is it bring out the coordinated movements of a limbs, trunk, jaw and eyeballs, etc. The skeletal muscles are directly involved in the breathing process. They directly involved in the breathing process. Next one is a smooth muscle tissue. Smooth muscle moves food, urine and reproductive tract secretions. So controls diameter or a respiratory passageway and regulate diameter of the blood vessels. They regulate the diameter of the blood vessels. So the smooth muscle tissue features and the characteristics. Found in hollow organs and blood vessels. They found in hollow organs, tube-like structures. Fibers are fusiform in shape and contain only single nuclei. So each cell is filled with the specialized cytoplasm. So the sarcoplasm and is surrounded by the cell membrane and the sarcolemma. So contain contractile actin and myosin filaments. However, they are not arranged in the regular cross-striated patterns, so that are visible in both the skeletal and the cardiac muscle fibers. So as a result, the muscle appears smooth or a non-striated muscle. So smooth muscle fiber also involuntary muscle and are therefore under autonomic nervous system and hormonal control. They are in control of autonomic nervous system. So these are the structure of smooth muscle. Now the functions of smooth muscle tissue. Smooth muscle controls slow involuntary movements such as contraction of the smooth muscle tissue in the walls of the stomach and the intestine. The digestion of food takes place by the movement of muscles in the stomach. No? So it is controlled by the smooth muscles. So the muscles of arteries contract and relaxation to regulate the blood pressure and flow of the blood. So the smooth muscles controls the blood pressure. Next type of tissue, muscular tissue, is cardiac muscular tissue. Cardiac muscular tissue features and the characteristics. Primarily located in the walls and septa of the heart and in the walls of the large vessels attaches to the heart. So only the heart in our body, only one and only one, the heart may composed by the cardiac tissue. So similar to skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle fibers exhibits distinct cross striations as a result to the arrangement of actin and myosin filaments. So transmission of electron microscopy reveals the similar bands, I bands and Z lines and separating the acromere units. So it exhibits only one or two central nuclei are short and they are the branched. So coming to the functions of cardiac muscle tissue plays the most important role in the contraction of atria and ventricular of the heart. Contraction. So the heart shows the contraction and relaxation phase. So the cardiac muscle plays the most important role in the contraction of and ventricles of the heart. So it causes the rhythmical beating of the heart, circulating the blood, and it contents throughout the body as a consequence. So the heart has to beat rhythmically, so it causes the rhythmic heartbeat. And now coming to smooth muscle, it has a spindle shaped, non-striated, unciliated fibers, and in cardiac muscle it has the striated, branched and uninucleated fibers, and in skeletal muscle has a striated, tubular, multinucleated fibers. So in smooth muscle occurs in the walls of internal organs, and cardiac muscle occurs in the walls of the heart, and in skeletal muscle it is usually attaches to the skeleton. And the smooth muscle is involuntary, and cardiac muscle is also involuntary, and the skeletal muscle shows the voluntary movements. So these all are the conduction system. The heart is influenced by the autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system which controlled by the spinal cord, which can increase or decrease the heart rate in line with the requirements of the body. So however, due to an intrinsic regulatory system called the conduction system, it is possible for the heart to go on breathing without the direct stimulus from the nervous system. So this system is composed of specialized muscle tissue that distributes the conduction that causes contraction of the cardiac muscle. So these tissues are found in the sinus or sinoatrial node. So atrioventricular node, bundles of his, bundle branches, and conduction myofibers. The heart rhythmic heartbeat controls. Muscle contraction. Skeletal muscle contraction. Skeletal muscles require stimulation from the nervous system in order to contract. If the movement of muscles has to be takes place, they should be coordinated by the nerve cells. Motor neuron are the cells that causes muscle fibers to contract. So nerve cells, motor neuron is a type of a nerve cell which facilitate the movement of the muscle. So skeletal muscles fibers shortens a thick filament interact with the filaments, so cross bridge, so they connect with each other, and sliding occurs power strokes. So the trigger for the contraction in the calcium ions released by the SR when the stimulus fiber is stimulated by the motor neurons. So contraction is an active process, relaxation and the return to the resting length is a entirely passive manner. So you can see here the relaxed smooth muscle cells, contracted smooth muscle cells. Cardiac muscle contraction. Cardiac muscle contraction is actin regulated, meaning that the calcium ions come both from the sarcoplasmic reticulum as in skeletal muscle and from the outside of the cell, so as in the smooth cells. Otherwise, the chain of events that occurs in the cardiac muscle contraction is similar to that of the skeletal muscles. Next, last type of tissue is a nervous tissue. This is the nerve cell which is present in the brain and spinal cord, which helps to understand all the information which is happening around us. So the neuron or the nervous tissue is the functional unit of the nervous system. So the nervous system is defined like the CPU of a computer. How the CPU processing all the activities, same way the nerve cell process all the activities. So the nervous system is the master controlling system of the body. So it is designed to constantly and rapidly adjust and respond to the stimuli, and the body receives its includes the brain, cranial nerves, spinal cord, and associated nerves and peripheral nerves. These are the different types. So the division of the nervous system is central nervous system. CNS means central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. PNS means cranial nerves, 12 pairs, plus spinal nerves, 31 pairs. So peripheral nervous system, it is equal to autonomous nervous system. So the important characteristics of the properties of a neuron. The neuron shows all these properties, that is excitability, that is irritability, ability to respond to environmental changes. For every environmental change we used to react. Conductivity, respond to stimuli by initiating electrical signals that reveal the quickly to other cells and at the distance locations. Next is secretion. Upon arrival of an impulse at a distant location, the neuron usually secretes a chemical neurotransmitter at the synapse. The chemical neurotransmitter is a chemical substance which helps to transfer the information from one nerve cell to another. The synapse is nothing but a functional gap between a nerve cell to nerve cell that crosses the synaptic gap and stimulates the next cell. This is the neuron, structure of neuron. Nerve cells, proper cell body, soma, dendrites, stevo, axons from. That means the dendrites collects the information, axons transport the information. Functional classification of neurons. Based on the direction of conduction, sensory or efferent conduct towards the CNS. 10 million. Sensory neuron collect the information from the sense organs and pass to the brain. Motor neurons, efferent neurons. Motor neurons can also call efferent neurons. They conduct away from the central nervous system. They collect the impulses from the brain to the carry to the effector organ. Interneuron interposed between the sensory neuron and it is a connective neuron which connects the sensory neuron and the motor neuron. These are the organization of the nerve cells. So central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and the autonomous nervous system. So these are all the different types of tissues which are present in the human body. So all the different types of tissues, epithelial tissue, connective tissue, cuboidal tissue, columnar tissue, glandular tissue, these all are the protective tissues. Next one is connective tissues, bone, tendon, ligament, cartilage, and areolaris tissue, adipose tissue. These all are connective tissue which connect all the organs in the body. Next, muscle tissues which helps to movement, striated muscles, unstriated muscles, and cardiac muscle. Next one is a nervous tissue. These all are the different types of tissues in the human body or in the animals which they helps to activate well and coordinate with each other and function well. Hope you understood. See you in the next session, children.